Hey all of you, hope you guys are great. So in the last video we have completed our upload component, and I believe that you guys have built a component, and if you have encountered any error, make sure to rewatch the video. In this video we're going to work on our next component. So this is here we are in our layout page, and we have so many components, so we are almost done. We have only one, I guess, left. So we have one, the profile is done. Now we have this product one. This is the only component we left. After this component we're going to start to assembling. We're going to start calling this component in our index page, in our home page, in our API page. So this is the last component we have to build in this. After that, everything will happen very quickly. So let's start working on a product component. Let's import a couple of things from React. We need use state, and that's coming from React. Then we have to import the image. Then we have to import the CSV file, like save as, and this particular package will allow us to download the images. Okay, you have seen in the demo that how we are clicking on the download button and downloading the image. So this package will help us. Now we have to do the internal import. So we have to import our style, the CSS file. Then we have to import our button CS style, and that's coming from button/button module. Then we have to import our images, all the images, and we have to get the client images as well. So these are the internal import. Now we have to import our donate component, and now we have to work on our product component, because these are the things we need in our. And by the way, this product component will be in our product detail page, not on the home page. So we'll say product, it's going to receive a couple of props. We have to send it to set notification. We'll say set support, donate far mount, set loading, image, and this image will have all the data about the product. Then we have to come here, we have to take a variable called handle click, and this will allow us to simply take the URL. So we have to pass the URL. So we'll take this image/image URL, and we have to say call this method, and we have to pass the name of the image. So once we click on this particular function, it will allow us to download the image. Now we have to take the const, we'll say donate. This is the state variable we take, and we'll take the donate, and this will allow us to open the donate component, so they can click and they can donate the fund. So by default we'll have this false, and now we have to work on the JSX part. So we'll take this div, it will have a class called product. Then we have to take a div, it will have a class called image. We'll take a image, it will have a class called image, and we have to provide the source. So this is the exact data we'll get in from the contract, the API. So for the time being, we are just building the layout. So we have to pass the alt image. We have to close the image one. Now we have to take another div, it will have a class called detail, and in that we have to display all the details. So we'll take a div, it will have a class called detail box. Let's display the h1. We have to display the title of the details. Now we have to display the description of the product. We have to display the info. So in that we have to display a couple of data. So I want to display this category, and inside that we're going to have another span. This will display the ID of the image, and we're going to have another span. Inside that we have to take this created at, so the time when this particular image was created, we'll display that one. And let's close this one and close the p tag. So these are the information we are displaying into this. Now come back here, we'll take a p tag, it will have a class called info, and it will have a span. We can display the donation amount, the amount of money users have donated. Then we have to display the span. Then we have to take this and close this one. And you have noticed one thing, that here we are going with a specific token, Maticoin. The one thing you can do is that you can easily able to manage the entire state in our context, where you can define the currency. So when you will do one changes in the context, that changes will reflect in the entire application. And by the way, you don't know how to manage the context, I would recommend you to check the course which I have, and that we have focused that how you can use the Redux toolkit, which is one of the powerful tool and the most demandable tool which you have to know if you want to work as a API developer or a front-end developer or a blockchain developer. You have to know how to use this Redux toolkit. Okay, so make sure to check, and in that you will find out that what you will learn. So come here, we'll take this p and we'll type the contract creator. So we have to display the email id of the creator. Now we have to take the span, and said that we have to display the para. So we have to display the image. It will have a class called avatar image. Then we have to display the source, the client, and we have to display the width 40. We have to display the height 40, and we have to close it up. So this is the span. Now we have to display the address of the user, the creator. It will have a class called para small, and we're going to display, it will have an on click function. So when he or she will create on this, click on this, it will copy the address of the users. So successfully copy, and the thing we want them to copy is this one, client keyboard text right, and we have to allow them to copy the address of the user. Looks good. Now we have to display the address of the user, sorry, creator, and we have this, and we have to slice it down to 30 characters, otherwise it will distort our UI, and we don't want to do that. And we can simply close this small tag. Looks pretty good. Close this span, close this div. Now we have to take this button, and it will have an on click function, and in that we have to call a couple of functions. So we'll say set notification to image URL is copy. So that's the click we add, and we'll also allow them to copy that one. So that's the image URL we have to pass so they can copy. So that's the button we have. It will have a class called button, the style. Close this one, and we have to display the text. So we'll say span, button, contain, and button. These are two classes we're going to add, and we'll say copy URL, and close this one, and close the button. So this is the first button we have. Now we have to get the another button. So this one is for download. We'll say span class space, and we have to take the another button, on click, and we'll say navigator clipboard right, and we'll allow them to simply download. So we have to pass this set notification, thanks for downloading. Okay, looks pretty good. And we have to assign a class, and we have to call the button class, and now we have to provide the span and assign the on click function. So we have to call the function which allow them to download, and let's assign a class, button class, the two. Close this one, and now we can say download image, and close the span, and close the button. Now we're going to have one more button. We'll provide the space for donation. So let's provide a space, and now let's try the last button. So we'll take a button, it will have an on click function, and on that we have to call this set donate to true, and assign the class. It will have a span, we'll add the two classes, content and button. We'll say donate, and close the button, and looks fine. Close the div. So that's the entire thing. Now we have to call the donate component, because we have to have the component here in the product detail page. So when someone will click on the donate, it will open the pop-up. So if the donate is true, then we have to open, otherwise we have to hide it. So we'll say take a div, it will have a class called form. We'll take a div, it will have a call form inner. And by the way, these classes we have in our global classes, so we are getting from there. So once you provide your classes with the style.space, that's coming from the product component. But when you will provide a class by like this, like form inner, so it will come from the global component. And we have already built reusable the classes in our global. So hope you guys haven't forgot that. Now we have to simply take this donate component. We have to pass the prop set loading, donate amount, set donate, and set port, and we have to simply close that one. Close the div, close the div, and close the dynamic block we have. So that looks pretty good. Close the div, and that's pretty much. So this is the entire product component we have written, and looks pretty good. So hope you guys have understood that what we have done here. First we have imported this, then we have done the internal import. These are the props we are receiving. This is the handle click for the download. Okay, so come back here, and now we start working on the CSS. Click on that, on the CSS file. We have to target the product, and we'll say display grid template column 1.5 fr and 2 fr, gap 4 ram, margin bottom 8 ram, target the image, border radius 0.5 ram, border radius 0.5 ram, box shadow 4 pixels 30 pixels RGB, border 5 pixels solid, and we'll have the color. Width is going to be 100%, height is going to be auto. We'll take the detail box, background linear gradient. We'll target the web kit because we have to assign color to the text, and web text fill color to transparent. Target the para, line height is going to be 1.5. Target the para small, padding left 1 ram. Target the info, we'll say display flex, gap 3 ram, line height 1.5, space padding inline 1 ram, and we'll have this media query. So let's target the first large screen 55 em. We'll say product gap 2 and grid template column 1 fr. Let's target the info, display grid, gap 1 ram, grid template column, repeat to 1 fr. Let's target the second media query. This is the 45 em, product gap 2, grid template column 1 fr. Then target the info, display grid, gap 1 ram, grid template column, repeat to 1 fr, and close this one. And now let's work on the mobile. So screen, this will be 35 em, product gap 2, grid template 1 fr. Let's target the info, we'll say display grid, gap 1, grid template column, repeat to 1 fr. And that's the entire CSS for the product modules. Hope this entire thing makes sense to all of you guys, and you guys have written what I have written. This is the image, this is the detail, para small, info, and we have the space, and this is the media query. So close this one, these 3 media query we have. Save it, close this one, and we are done with this. Now we have to import this in the layout one. So we are done with this component. Let's import that one. Paste here, product, and that's what we have to call, right? So what we're going to call is, let's call it here. We'll say, not the color, we have to say product, and we can display our product component. So we'll come here and take the product slash and save it. So if we come back to the browser, you can see the details are displaying. We don't have the detail because we are not passing the data. That's why you can see it's empty. The image is also broken, but the layout, the designing looks absolutely fine. We have the categories, buttons, donates, all of things looking absolutely fine. What I will do, I'll come back to the product, and here we have to take the images. So to see we have the image styling on the image or not. So I'm going with this particular image. So what I will do is, so this is what I have here, and I'm going to simply select and paste here, and I'm going to comment this part. Remove this, take a image. So this is the image tag we need. Simply come here, change this one, and here we have to provide the source of the image. Simply remove this one, and we have to take the image from our hardcode images dot, and we take this image one, save it, and this will work fine. You can see the image is displaying, so the styling is applied, and we have all of this. So right now we don't have the data, that's why you can see it's empty. but when we'll have the data, it will look pretty fine. So we have done with this entire component. You can see it's looking absolutely incredible. If you check the inspect element, everything is responsive. Notification bar, all the thing is very responsive. So this is the also responsive header bar, and all the buttons are responsive. This is the filter, you can click open. This is the cart component. This is the form one. This is the logging one, space one, profile. Everything is pretty beautiful. Okay, so hope you guys have got the idea that everything is coming together and looks pretty good to me. Close this one, and we have done with this entire component. So finally we have completed all the component in our project. Now the time is to simply connect the component in their respective pages. So hope whatever we have covered so far, you guys have got an idea that what you have to do. And here we have the different pages, like app.js, which we have already done. We have the index and the API pages and the page for the details, and that's what we're going to cover in the next video. So first we'll start with the index page. After that we're going to move to the product image detail page. After that we're going to move to the API one. So hope you guys have completed the entire project, all the components, and now we're going to have three more videos, and that we're going to simply wrap up our entire project and we'll make it live. So with that, let's move to that next video.